Hey. Oh, I ain't know you was back here, girl. I ain't even see you. Oh, nah, just making sure.
Hey y'all, Miss B back again at another beauty supply store. And listen, I'm seeing all these sales. I saw 50% off, 75% off. And why is that? Because we are not up in there, y'all. I walked through this gigantic beauty supply store and the aisles were empty on a Saturday. We are doing it, y'all.
So a ticking time bomb that I feel like not a lot of people know about is the fact that most of your favorite local Chinese restaurants that are being owned by like Chinese immigrants are probably not going to be around within the next 10 to 15 years. And this is because, for context, my parents own a Chinese restaurant, and basically all of our friends and family in our like community also own their own Chinese restaurants. So, what I know is happening is that a lot of these people who came to America, a couple decades ago, opened up their Chinese restaurants. They're getting to the age now where they are trying to figure out how to retire and how to essentially like what to do with the business. And so one of the options obviously is to sell it to someone else who wants to continue operating the restaurant, as it currently is. And basically, from what my parents have told me, the prices that these businesses, like these Chinese restaurants, are going for on these like Chinese communities forums where people are like listing their restaurants, these restaurants are being sold for dirt cheap because you are not getting the same influx of people coming into the US as like first gen immigrants who wants to own and operate Chinese restaurants. This is an incredibly labor intensive line of work. And these owners, like you could say, oh, like, why don't they just pass it down to their kids?
Asian Americans are getting the wake-up call as most of their businesses are a ghost town. This video here today is of much essence to you if you are into Black American hot gossips and trends, Asian America hot trendy news. Well, it started when Asian Americans dared black people to boycott their business. Now that things are getting out of hand, most Asian-owned businesses are closing down, most of them are collapsing, and others are bankrupt because Black Americans withdraw the black dollars from Asian-owned businesses. Black Americans are focusing on Black-owned businesses. Asian businesses are feeling the pain, and now they want Black Americans' support. The videos you're going to watch is of Asian Americans, Black Americans, in the context that Black American boycott is working perfectly and Asian Americans want the black dollars back. Watch this show coverage till the end so that we can be on the same page. Share response on the comment section below and I will humbly respond to you. And at the end, I'll have more strong commentary on this episode.
Most of the Chinese people that I know whose family own restaurants, their kids, my friends whose parents own restaurants, it was not even a question whether or not they wanted to like take on the family business, right? Like the people who own and operate these restaurants know how extremely labor intensive and difficult it is to do this line of work. And that's because so much of the labor that goes into making and preparing your food is done by hand. It is not automated. Like we, at least in my family's restaurant, we make every single dumpling by hand, and like the filling that goes into these dumplings, we make that by hand too. Like my parents literally like grind up the pork. They hand chop the scallions, like hand measure all of like the sauces and everything. Like it is so labor intensive to own and operate a Chinese restaurant. So like, of course they don't want me to go into this line of work. Like, so realistically what is going to happen to these Chinese restaurants is that they, either just close up shop and the owners are just like, okay, like, sorry, we're not doing this anymore. Can't find any buyers. Or, if you do find buyers, like who knows who these buyers are going to be, whether or not they're going to be able to run the restaurant with the same level of care, as, was previously able to be managed by these original owners. Or realistically, what's going to happen is that private equity is going to come in, buy up these restaurants because the prices for them are like dirt cheap right now. And they're going to cut costs wherever they can, cut labor wherever they can, which means the quality of your food is no longer like, it's just not going to stay the same. So all this is to say, please go support your local Chinese restaurant, like your local mom and pop restaurant. Tell your friends, tell your family, like these businesses they're not going to exist in the same way in the next 10 to 15 years. So go support them while you can.
If Black folks boycotting Asian businesses is what it takes to fast-track Asian folks into deconstructing their internalized white supremacy and anti-Blackness, so be it. Boycott. I didn't apologize to the Black community in my video yesterday so that y'all would magically trust me or forgive Asian people suddenly. I apologized to hold my people accountable because the Asian community owes an apology and the Black community deserves to receive an apology. Is it enough? No. But is it one grain of rice in the direction of repair? I believe so. Trust can only be rebuilt through action, so I will continue educating Asian folks in my life, both online and in real life, to deconstruct the internalized white supremacy and anti-blackness, because black folks are some of the most soulful, caring people I know, and y'all deserve better.
Boycott Asian businesses. Look, I know many people are angry. They think justice needs to be served, so they want to boycott Asian businesses. I know emotions are high, and if this is how you think there's going to be some justice, okay, I'm okay with it. But then when does it end? When is it, okay, we've boycotted Asian businesses enough, justice is served, now let's move on. I just personally don't think this is the solution. If anything, it produces more tension, creating some unnecessary race war. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Asian business owners that are like, what happened? Where's all my black customers? They're just trying to make a living. They're just trying to make money. Now, what's the answer? I don't know.
I see where you're coming from, though. I feel your pain, and I'm so sorry for the tragic that you had to go through. But when I hear the fact that you are going to boycott Asian business, that caught me off guard, and let me tell you why. Is because when you say you are boycotting Asian business, that's a big statement. Like, you know, Asian comes in different areas like Laos, Cambodia, Vietnamese, Japan, Korea, China, India. So when you say you're going to boycott the Asian businesses, that's all of them. But the fact that we didn't do anything to y'all, that's why I'm tripping about. That's it. Not that we're not feeling sorry for the situation. It's just, I know it was a Chinese man who shot the kid, but one man's crime cannot affect the whole community. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why I was caught off guard, because I'm Asian. And when you say you're going to boycott Asian, that's like involve all of us. And some of us be like, what the hell did we do? We didn't do anything. We knew the situation, but we feel for the situation, but we didn't do anything. That's why I made that video. You see what I'm saying? Not trying to not have no empathy or sympathy about the situation. I feel bad. But it's kind of hard to boycott the Asian community because it's like, it's everywhere. You see what I'm saying? So, with that being said, we need to stop this racism stuff, man. We need to love each other more. We need to really embrace each other's differences and just work it out. And at the end of the day, we need God. That's what we need.
Yo, this boycott might be the wake-up call that Asian people really needed. Hear me out. Everybody worried about how this boycott is going to hurt Asian businesses, but I'm more interested in what this boycott is going to make us become. Let's be real. Most of us are operating on formulas that were built 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago by our parents and grandparents. Say no more. The world changed since then. Technology changed. Communication changed. Man, everything changed. The only thing that ain't really changed is our systems. And here's another thing. Most other people look at Asians like we all the same, but that could be farthest from the truth. Because Asians as a whole is actually divided as Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Cambodian, Thai, Filipino. Those are all people from different countries. We completely different people. But in America, everybody looks at us like we're the same. So this boycott ain't just going to affect one group of Asians. It's going to affect Asians collectively in America. And history has shown when pressure is applied to different groups of people at the same time, it has a way of making us realize that we got more in common than we actually thought. So could this boycott hurt many Asian businesses? You damn right. But could it also wake the Asian people up in a way that we never saw before? Could make us rethink how we operate and come up with new formulas instead of relying on old ones. It could make younger Asians start stepping up in a way that Asians ain't never stepped up before. Because one thing we Asians have always been good at is adapting. When times get hard, we adjust. When old opportunities disappear, we make new ones. When doors close, we build our own. So the question shouldn't be, what if the boycott hurts Asians?
All I'm saying is that if you are Asian, before you should even be asking the question about who gets to decide who gets to boycott Asian-owned businesses, we need to be having the conversations in our own spaces about whether or not anti-Black racism needs to be addressed and have those uncomfortable conversations within our communities. Because I have been doing this for years, right? Have you been doing that before you decided to come online and post a video being like, oh, Black Americans are such hypocrites, which they are not. They have a right. Like, they have an absolute right because we do have rampant anti-Black racism. And before we are willing, like, we need to be willing to take accountability for that before we get to decide whether or not anybody should be also, it's not even our decision who gets to boycott. Our role, right? And everybody has different roles under systemic oppression, and something happens, is what can I do in solidarity instead of looking at this situation as an us versus them problem? If you're still looking at it from the lens of an us versus them problem, then you are on Rick Chow's side. And I know that people can say like, oh, well, you know what, like I have such a diverse spectrum of ideas and I see things differently. But when it comes to systemic oppression in a world that is made to be black and white, then if you are going to look at this boycotting situation as, oh, you shouldn't boycott us, why should we have to pay for the sins of this one guy? Like, that's not like the systemic playbook, right? Like when one person does harm, or even if it's a few people doing harm, right? If you think about like slavery in the South, even if it was just a few people, a few families running the whole thing, okay? The systemic issue is still the fact that everybody inherited these core belief systems about certain marginalized groups of people, and we are still perpetuating these ideas, right? Like, the issue is that our ideologies are still there, right? And until we're able to address that, why are we even thinking immediately like, oh, actually, I'm going to argue about boycotting, when you should be looking at yourself in a mirror and being like, hey, I realize that I'm contributing, my community is contributing. How have I seen anti-Black racism manifest in Asian spaces? Like, why are these conversations so difficult to have? I don't know. But they need to be had, right? They exist. They exist. People are doing it, some people are not. But when it comes to the question of solidarity, are you for or against? And if you are for, then have the conversations first before you decide who gets to boycott if you are an Asian person.
Asian folks, do you know why black folks are cutting you off? Here's a brief history lesson. Asian folks were discriminated against just like black folks. Y'all were kinfolk for a bit. And then you were restricted to being able to open up different shops that were considered undesirable, like laundromats. Now, black folks could have opened those things up, but they knew that that was your limit. And somewhere along the line, you became the favored minority. Because after the wars, we had plenty of half-Asian babies, and you looked close enough. And when you socially rose up by the graces of those that bestowed it upon you, you just left black folks alone. But what was the catalyst here? It was the fact that it was an Asian dude that's already apparently killed 2 other people. Got off with barely a tch on the wrist. And y'all ain't doing jack. Black folks have stood with you since the beginning of time, and they're about to show you how much they've impacted your life. It's not that you couldn't be replaced. It's that they were too polite to. And y'all just kept silent. Not doing a damn thing, even defending the dude. Really. So at this point, you get what you're going to get. Black-owned businesses are going to thrive. And you've seen so many black folks telling you, like, we could have replaced you a long time ago. Now you're about to see it. You're about to get humbled. Just like racist white people, they're about to get humbled. They're about to get humbled. Whether you believe it or not, I love all of you. And as always, stay amazing. Or be amazing. Your choice. Or it could be one of those people that's like, don't leave me.
So I found myself back in Asian people business, and this is what I found out. Oh, baby, the ban is not stopping, okay? Them Asian-owned nail salons, the chairs are empty. It's summertime. That's where they supposed to get the most business. Pedicure season, baby. They have no clients. Now they all on the internet crying about how their salons are empty and how nobody's getting their nails done, nobody's supporting these businesses, and how it's racist and everybody's anti-Asian. But let me explain something to y'all, okay? I want to make sure that I'm 110% clear, so that way I'm going to talk real slow, so that way y'all understand me, okay? Because I understand that comprehension is not a skill that everybody has. People do not want to support your business, not because they don't like Asian people and they're anti-Asian. They don't want to support your business because they're tired of being racially profiled as soon as they walk into the door. All right? They're tired of feeling like that every time they go into y'all salons and, go to y'all hair supply stores, you're following them around and, you laughing and joking and talking in different languages and Vietnamese or whatever the y'all are speaking. They don't feel welcome. That's why they don't want to support your business. This whole situation with Cyrus was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was already coming. Like I said, I'm going to speak real slow so that way everybody understand what it is that I'm saying, okay? So, for you to try to shift the blame and say, well, don't buy nothing from China, and that means that y'all need to just start growing y'all hair and stop buying that wigs and weaves from China and whoop whoop whoop. How are you claiming that someone is being racist to you when you are being microaggressive all in the same breath? Okay, it's like you don't know if you want to be the victim or the villain in this origin story. And the problem is that y'all want that proximity to whiteness. But let me explain something to you. Unless your skin is pale white and you are white, you will never be white. Okay, baby, they don't look at you as one of them. You are still a minority. You are still a person of color. And the fact that you use that as a pedestal to put yourself above other people of color because your skin's just a tiny bit lighter is a problem. It's deep in y'all community, and that's something that y'all need to work on. But all this crying on the internet, it need to stop.
And while a lot of people from the Asian community have been showing their true colors lately about this boycott against them, I got to thinking, I ain't never seen y'all at Mama Lucy's over there in Miami. I ain't never seen y'all at Sunday's Eatery in Miami Gardens. I ain't never seen y'all at Sister Sarah's Crab House over there in Fort Lauderdale. I ain't never seen y'all at Shisha, the one in Hollywood or the one in Lauderhill. I ain't never seen y'all at the Dutch Pot or Donna's Caribbean Restaurant. And these are all popular black owned places down here in South Florida that I frequented one too many times. And I ain't never seen y'all there. So while y'all upset that we're no longer going to be patronizing y'all businesses, it seems like y'all ain't been patronizing ours from the beginning. Meaning this has always been a one-sided thing from the beginning. And now y'all upset because the one side is about to take their side back when y'all haven't been on our side to begin with. Oh well.
This is something Asian Americans wanted for themselves. They dare black Americans to boycott their business. Now that things are getting out of hand, now that they are in the fearful stage, they want black dollars back to their businesses. Most of Asian businesses are collapsing. Most of them are running bankrupt because black dollars has been withdrawn from their businesses. This video here today is of much essence to you if you are into the Rickshaw and Cyrus case where this Asian American was found innocent in the murder of this teenager Cyrus. When black Americans withdraw your support from your business, you will feel the pain. And that's exactly what Asian Americans right now are facing in America. They want to sell their businesses, meaning their business is not generating extra income. I keep on telling you, these Asian Americans come into America as immigrants. They settled in black-owned communities. Once they get the dollars from the black Americans, instead of investing in black communities, they invest the money to their home countries, leaving black communities lagging behind in terms of development. And that's exactly why black Americans are so enraged with Asian-owned businesses. Now, it is a wake-up call. Most black Americans are supporting only black-owned businesses. They want to support their own. They want to uplift their own community. Most of these Asian businesses are found in black premises. Why not establish these businesses in white communities? Why only think of black communities? The black dollars as per now truly matters. Where black people, where black immigrants, where black Americans cheer you up, champion for your business, you will strive. But when they withdraw their support, they boycott your business, you will feel the pain. And that's what Asian Americans are going through right now in America. It was a nice session engaging with you, and please, if you're not a robot or an alien, please do hit the subscribe icon below, and on the next episode, I'll continue showcasing to you what Asian Americans are facing right now in America. They're feeling the pain, they're not getting the black dollars, their businesses are collapsing, and if the business has survived right now, it is a complete ghost town. Thank you for watching, family, and goodbye.